Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here. I have so much to share in today's video because as of today, which is Friday, the 7th of October, mortgage rates have hit a new 20-year high. The average 30-year fix for people with exceptional credit have reached 7.12% according to the Mortgage News Daily. So in today's video, I'm going to share that update with you guys, but I'm also going to be sharing the latest update from Redfin because they posted a new housing market update yesterday at the time of this video. So I have a lot to share in today's video, so I hope you guys get a lot of value out of it. And of course, if you do, please hit the like button. I'd greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's begin today's video. This is according to a new report from Redfin, and they're going to be sharing the latest news regarding mortgage rates here in just a little bit. Home buyers have lost 29% of their purchasing power since rates bottomed out in early 2021. Rates around January of 2021 were around 2.7%. And again, rates right now are just over 7%, which is absolutely insane. Early indicators of home buying demand show an accelerated pullback last week as mortgage rates shot up to a 15-year high. This is a report from yesterday when rates, according to the Mortgage News Daily, was around 7%. But again, rates have increased greatly today, which again is the 7th. Home tours fell 7% and mortgage purchase applications declined by 13%. Obviously, it makes sense given the fact that mortgage rates have been increasing so much. It makes sense we're seeing fewer home tours by real estate agents, and of course, fewer applications for mortgages right now. Also, Redfin's Home Buyer Demand Index, which is a measure of requests for home tours and other home buying services, fell 6% last week to its lowest level since mid-June of this year, when mortgage rates first jumped toward 6%. And actually, for the month of September, mortgage rates were at or above 6% for the entire month, which is absolutely crazy. Home buyers lost 29% of their buyer purchasing power as the average 30-year fix climbed from 2.65% in the early parts of 2021, that was in January 2021, to 6.66% today. This is actually according to a new report as of yesterday from Freddie Mac. But if you guys follow the channel, I actually don't really look at the average rates that Freddie Mac posts because this is based on a weekly survey regarding mortgage rates. And when we have an environment right now where mortgage rates tend to fluctuate so much on a daily basis, it really doesn't make sense to look at average rates and go onto Freddie Mac's website because, again, this is a weekly survey that they conduct here. And when rates fluctuate so much on a daily basis, it really doesn't give us an indication regarding what our rates are today. But according to them, as of yesterday, the average 30-year fix is 6.66%. I wanted to point this out to you guys because this report here, based on home buyers losing 29% of their buyer purchasing power, is based on that 6.66% rate. But when you actually go onto the Mortgage News Daily's website as of today, which again is the 7th, average rates are 7.12%. On August 1st, rates were 5.05%. So over the span of about 2 months, buyers have lost about 20% of their purchasing power, given the fact that mortgage rates have increased by more than 2 percentage points since August 1st of this year. And here's a chart showing average mortgage rates for the past 1 year. So again, right now, 7.12% is the average 30-year fix, which is mind-blowing, considering the fact that rates were at 3.15% 1 year ago. 12 months ago, rates were about 4 percentage points lower than they are right now, which is absolutely crazy. These are the highest rates we've seen since 2002, the early parts of 2002. And let me share that with you right now because rates right now at 7.12%, the highest rates since approximately March of 2002. And here's rates over the past 5 years. Let's look at this. Rates on Thursday, August 5th, 2021 were around 2.77%. But rates have been absolutely skyrocketing ever since then, especially this year because on January, let's look at January. On January 1st, rates were about 3.05%. Now they're over 7%. So going back to Redfin's report here, this is a really interesting chart right here because they're showing a 29% drop in buyers' purchasing power since January of 2021. This is also based on rates being at 6.66% today, though. But as you guys saw, rates are actually over 7%. So buyers have actually lost more than this since January 2021. In any case, have a look at this, because if a home buyer has a budget for their total mortgage payment of $2,500 per month, that includes their principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, because look at this, they're assuming a 20% down payment and also annual property taxes of 1.25%. And by the way, that's probably the average in California. When I tend to give people estimations based on property taxes here in California, we tend to use 1.25% the purchase price in order to gauge or to estimate their property taxes, and annual insurance to be 0.5% of the purchase price. So with those assumptions, if a buyer wants a $2,500 per month budget, back in 2015, you could get approximately a $480,000 house. That was back in 2015. But take a look at this, because back in 2015, rates were around 3.5%. Then they increased through 2019, or the early parts of 2019, when they actually increased almost to 5%. And because of this, buyers' purchasing power decreased because we had a rise in rates. So if you still want that $2,500 budget, you could afford just under a $450,000 home compared to just under $500,000 back in 2015. But look at this, because in 2020 as well as 2021, rates decreased greatly, and that actually increased buyers' purchasing power because rates went from 5% all the way down to about 2.75% in the early parts of 2021. So at that time, which is January 2021, a home buyer could afford a $533,000 home versus approximately $490,000 back in 2019. But when rates actually increased greatly from about 2.75% now to 6.6%, that same home buyer with a $2,500 budget can now only afford just under a $380,000 home price. So in a span of just less than 2 years, a home buyer went from a $533,000 home that they actually could afford now down to $378,000. And this is one reason why we're seeing this pullback in home buying demand, because a lot of people are getting priced out, especially given the fact that rates are over 7% right now. According to Redfin's Deputy Chief Economist, Taylor Marr, he had this to say: mortgage rates well over 6% are spooking home buyers right now. Sellers are pulling back in this market, but buyers are pulling back even more. Home prices are holding steady so far. I actually would disagree with him regarding this, because home prices have decreased in the range of 5 to 6% ever since June of this year. In any case, he says it'll take a few months before the prices of closed sales start to reflect this shock to the market. He's absolutely correct regarding this, because closed home sales, it takes approximately 30 days to close escrow on a house. So you get your offer accepted, approximately 30 days later, depending on where you live, the house is yours. So home buyers right now who are getting offers accepted are getting rates of around 7% and not 5.05% like we saw on August 1st, for example. Therefore, it's going to take at least a couple of months to see the true impacts regarding our housing market right now regarding closed home sales, because again, that's a lagging indicator. In contrast though, some early indication of home buying demand is this right here. Fewer people are searching for homes for sale on Google, down 33% compared to 1 year ago. Also, Redfin's home buyer demand index declined 10% over the past 3 weeks and down 26% year over year. Also, touring activity by real estate agents showing their home buyers houses for sale as of October 2nd was down 26% from the start of this year, compared to an 8% increase last year. Also, mortgage purchase applications, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, or the MBA, for the week ending September 30th was down 13% week over week to the lowest level since October of 2015. Purchase applications are also down by 37% from 1 year ago. And I made a separate video regarding this, regarding the Mortgage Bankers Association's latest report here. If you haven't looked at that video, I'll leave a link below for you guys. I actually made that video a few days ago. Okay, changing gears slightly, let's talk about home prices across the United States here. Because here's the key market takeaways according to Redfin for 400 plus US metro areas for the 4 weeks ending October 2nd of this year. So the median sold price, which again is a lagging indicator, was $367,000, up 7% year over year. However, though, home prices fell in San Francisco by 1.4%, from a year ago. And also Oakland, California, prices fell by 3.4%, and New Orleans fell by 9%. From the same time period 1 year ago. Meanwhile, the median asking price of newly listed houses increased 9% year over year to $383,000. And also the monthly mortgage payment on the median price home in the United States right now climbed to a record of $2,500 per month at the current 6.6% rate. That's up 49% from 1 year ago. So here's some charts I want to share with you guys regarding home prices according to Redfin here. And I actually want to show you guys home prices right now compared to 2021 and of course 2019, which of course is pre-COVID. So right now the median sold price, again a lagging indicator, is at $368,000, up 7% year over year. One thing I want to point out though is that ever since the 4 weeks ending June 19th, or approximately 4 months ago, home prices have decreased by about 6.1% by my dumb math, because back in this time period, home prices were at $392,000, at that time up by 13% year over year. But right now, home prices are at $368,000, which again is a 6.1% decrease in the median sold price. I had to mention that because when the deputy chief economist for Redfin says that home prices are holding steady for now, that's not really the case when you actually look at the data here, because home prices have declined by 6.1% over the past 4 months. Unless he means this right here, because over the past approximately 7 weeks, the median sold price has been holding steady. Because ever since, what is it right here? Ever since the 4 weeks period ending August 21st of this year, the median sold price was $368,000. And again, right now it's also $368,000. So again, the median sold price has been holding steady over the past 7 weeks or so. However, though, if I had to guess, because mortgage rates have increased about 2 percentage points ever since August 1st of this year, this is going to cause some downward pressure regarding the median sold price in the months ahead. Okay, changing gears slightly, let's talk about pending home sales, new listings, active listings, which of course is housing supply, as well as the month supply in the US right now. So pending home sales were down 25% year over year, the largest decline since May 2020. Also, the number of new listings were down by 18% from a year ago, and active listings, which of course is housing supply, fell 1% during the prior 4-week period. On a year-over-year basis, they rose by 3%. And meanwhile, the month supply increased to 3 months, the highest level since July of 2020. And again, this month supply at 3 months, we need this number to be approximately 4 months, in my personal opinion, in order to have a buyer's market across the United States. And this figure right here has been increasing greatly this year because, if I'm not mistaken, in January of this year, the month supply was actually less than 2 months. And going back to pending home sales, have a look at this, because right now, as I report to you guys, pending home sales are down about 27% from 1 year ago and have been peeling away from 2021, which is above right here, ever since the 4 weeks ending April 17th of this year. So that's pending home sales. Let's have a look at new listings. So new listings right now are down 17.7% from 2021 compared to the same week in 2021, and has been decreasing greatly ever since June of this year. And again, as I mentioned in my previous videos, this decline of the number of new listings has been one of the main reasons why we're not seeing active listing inventory shoot up like we once saw in the early parts of this year. We're not seeing enough new listings hitting the market, but I actually just noticed this because the number of new listings over the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks has been more or less plateauing out. Whereas before that, the number of new listings have been falling greatly. So this is an important trend that we should be following here in the weeks ahead and the months ahead, because if the number of new listings starts increasing, that's going to cause active listing supply, or the housing supply, to increase, which of course is going to put downward pressure regarding home prices. On the other hand, if we continue to see a lack of houses being listed for sale across the United States, that's going to cause a slowdown of our housing market slowdown. In other words, it's going to decrease the impacts of a housing market correction. In regards to active listings, which of course is housing supply, Redfin is reporting that the number of active listings right now is up by 3.2% from the same time period in 2021. And also they're reporting that more or less the housing supply has been declining ever since August of this year. And as I mentioned in my previous videos here, this is a lot different than what other resources are reporting, because according to Realtor.com as well as AltosResearch.com, they are both reporting that on a year-over-year basis by week, and this is for the week ending October 1st of this year, active listings are up by 30% according to Realtor.com. Now, I don't know why that Redfin is so much different regarding the reporting of active listings, because they're only reporting active listings up by 3%, whereas Altos as well as Realtor.com are reporting 30% gains on a year-over-year basis. And again, I'll try to do some digging regarding this because these numbers here are vastly different, and that's one reason why I report multiple sources of housing market data. In regards to Redfin's reporting here that the month supply increased to 3 months, this is actually a typo. I just found out this because the month supply right now, according to Redfin, is not 3 months. It's actually 3.2 months. As you can see right here, a 3.2 month housing supply right now, which basically means that if no new listings were to hit the market, then all houses listed for sale based on the current sales pace would be sold in 3.2 months. That's what the month supply means. So it's not 3 months, it's actually 3.2 months. Last week, it was 3 months. As you can see right here, 1 month ago or 1 week ago, it was 3 months. In any case, at 3.2 months, this is the highest levels so far this year, but also going back to 2021 as well, because back in 2021, we didn't get above approximately 2.7 months. Meanwhile, approximately 35% of pending home sales went under contract with a home buyer within 2 weeks of being listed for sale. At 35.3%, this is actually below levels in 2021 as well as 2020, when at this time the share was approximately 40%. Also, approximately 24% of pending home sales went under contract within 1 week of hitting the market. So houses selling very, very quickly, approximately 24% of the time, which is below the levels over the past couple of years when the ratio was approximately 28%. Meanwhile, the median days on the market is at 32 days right now, which is approaching 2020 levels right now. And houses are taking longer to sell in 2022 compared to last year, ever since the middle of July. Again, this is a lagging indicator though, because these are based on houses that have actually closed escrow though. One thing I want to note regarding this is that this is a lagging indicator because this is based on houses that actually have sold. And speaking of a housing market slowdown here, have a look at this, because 31% of houses that actually have sold, a lagging indicator, sold above the seller's asking price. So that means approximately 70% of houses sold at or below the seller's asking price. So current levels right now at 31.1% is actually below 2020 and of course below 2021. During the peak was over the past few years was really in May of this year when the ratio was actually over 50%. In regards to price reductions right now, the share of listings with price reductions according to Altos is at 42%. So approximately 41.65%. This is at least a 3-year high because going back to pre-COVID, back in 2019, the ratio or the share was actually 37%. Now it's 42%. And lastly, the average sale price to list price ratio, according to Redfin here, was 99%. This means on average, home sellers were selling their houses for 1% less than their asking price. And this ratio has been actually below 100 ever since right here, the 4 weeks ending August 21st of this year. Now, this is vastly different compared to the spring months of this year because right here, the ratio was just under 103%, meaning that home sellers were selling their houses for 3% over their asking price, which of course is vastly different right now, selling for less than 1% of their asking price. One thing I want to also note is that 1 year ago, the ratio was just over 100%. But look at 2019 here in blue right here. Let me just go up right here. Here's 2019. So in 2019, there wasn't any single period here where the ratio was over 100%. So we're approaching more normal levels like we saw in 2019 when home sellers were selling their houses for less than their asking price on average. Also, Redfin's Home Buyer Demand Index, which of course is an index based on requests for home tours, fell big time by 20% on a year-over-year basis. This level right now, their index at, 127.1, is very close to the levels in June of 2022. Also, it's worth noting here that their index here has been lower than last year's levels ever since April this year. And coincidentally, in April this year, average rates increased to over 5%. But again, rates are actually over 7% right now, which is one main reason I'm guessing regarding why they're seeing this huge decrease in the number of requests for home tours by Redfin agents. So with that said, please comment below with your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you guys got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Hope you guys have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.